It's that time of year. I'm starting to set my goals for 2025. I've got some really exciting races, personal goals, and events that I want to take on next year. So today, I've got some pretty special news. I'm going to be working with a coach to try to help me achieve some of those goals. And not just any coach either. 2025 is starting to look more exciting by the day. My name's Andy, and I'm an ultra cyclist on a quest to be the best I possibly can be. I make videos about ultra training, kit, and adventures with a fresh upload every week. I've got a long road ahead of me, and I want to bring you along for the journey. Welcome to The Road Provides. The first thing, some of you might be scratching your head thinking, but Andy, you said a little while ago you're not going to use a coach. And if you watch that video through, you'll understand the reasoning for that. I did explain in that video, I did some work on trying to get prices and trying to work out if it's something I can factor into my plan. At the time, the answer was no. I got a couple of prices through and I just don't have the money to do it at the prices that I was being quoted. This time of year, I've got a lot of race fees to pay for. I mean, the transcontinental race alone, that's going to cost me about 500 quid or so just to get a place. On top of all my race fees, it's Christmas. And this old thing's seen better days. So I'm looking to replace the bike, and the group set is about 6 years old. So I really can't trust that to get me through some of the races I've got planned this year. But sometimes in life, you're presented with an opportunity that you just got to try to work through, try to make it happen. A little while after I put that video out, I received this message. Reading through the messages, I thought, let's click on the profile and at least see who this is. The first thing I saw, he's a cyclist, great. Second thing I saw in the bio was the list of palmares, race wins and results. And it's pretty extensive. The first thing that jumped out to me was the first place at the Race Across America in the relay category. That's a massive accomplishment. And scrolling further down, I start to see some of the accomplishments as a coach. So straight away, I'm looking at this as a CV, as somebody that I'm going to have the conversation and try to make this work. So long story short, we had a bit of back and forth, and there's a way that we can do this. It's really exciting. So without further ado, my coach is Giovanni Prosperi. I think you'll agree there that it's a pretty exciting opportunity. So in this video, I'm going to show the process I went through to make sure that I'm getting into a relationship with the right person. For me, when I gave this some consideration, there's a few things that I wanted to tick off to make sure that I'm handing the reins over to somebody that's going to help me. The first thing that I personally want to see to give me confidence is that this person's worked with other people and helped them to achieve the result that they wanted. So to help two people to get through the Race Across America, and more recently help someone break a world record in the ultracycling space, that got my attention. Secondly, I don't believe that necessarily a coach has to have results in the category they're coaching in. However, that gives me a lot more confidence that they understand what I'm trying to achieve. And on top of that, I want to make sure I'm going to have a good relationship with the person. So you're about to see some conversations that I've been having at the start of this process. But prior to this, I spent 2 hours in one call with Giovanni chatting about ultra racing, his races, my goals, how much time I have spare, getting to know each other basically. And I was very confident to go into it. This is an initial video setting up the goals and the relationship that I'm getting into, but there'll be more longer term videos coming in future. So I'm going to be chatting to Giovanni himself. You can get an idea of what Giovanni's all about, the kind of training that I'm going to be doing. I asked Giovanni, can I speak to one of his clients? And he made that happen. Didn't have to, but I suppose for me, you don't ask, you don't get. And you'll see, it turned out to be a really fun conversation with Ingolf. Ingolf broke a WUKA world record last month, despite being hit by a car in the process, but he's been coached by Giovanni for over a year now. So that was a really good way for me to get some more confidence in Giovanni. If you've been watching this channel for a while now, then you'll know I make videos about training, kit and adventures. That's pretty much what I said at the start of every video. It just means now I've got some real content to give you on the training front, because for the last year or so, I've been doing it on my own, doing my best, but not doing very well. If this is the first video that you've watched, then it's a pretty good time to get on board. So if you haven't already, now would be a really good time to hit the subscribe button, follow this journey, see where it ends up taking me. Next year, I have several events planned. I'm racing Be Hard in Bosnia. That's a 1200k race. I have a 24-hour time trial in March, and I'm about to apply for the Transcontinental race again. That's a 4,000 kilometer race across Europe. Outside of that, after speaking to Giovanni, we've set some other goals additional to those. I'm going to be doing an Everesting, and if you saw the video recently of the 100-mile time trial, we're going to attempt that again and try to get well inside 5 hours. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on, but I wanted you to understand the process that I went through to set this relationship up, and also why I went back on what I said previously about working with a coach. But anyway, without further ado, welcome to the channel, Giovanni Prosperity. Giovanni, how you doing?
I'm fine, Mandy. How are you?
I'm really well. And welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much.
You're the first person to help and partner with the channel to come on and have a chat. So thank you.
No, thank you. It's an honor for me to be part of your channel.
So I'm in the UK, and Giovanni, you're in Ohio, right?
Yes, in Ohio, yes. Close to Cleveland.
Cleveland, yes, yeah. So I was just speaking to Ingolf this morning about his journey, because for the benefit of viewers, we started working together quite recently, and I've done enough training to kind of get a little bit under my belt and see how it's going to be. But I was really interested to speak to Ingolf because he's spent much more time with you, and he's had some big challenges, and he's done really, really well. He had a lot of good things to say about you.
I'm very happy about that. I have many good things to say about Ingolf. He's a great athlete and he's so committed to cycling.
Yeah, that's the impression I got. It was very trusting of you to just give me contact details of somebody for a reference. But really interesting for me because I've never worked with a coach ever. So it's good for me to understand what I'm letting myself in for.
Yeah, yes. And we achieved many goals together since I'm coaching you. Yes, we started September 2023. So it's 1 year and something. Okay, he finished RAAM, Race Across America. That's the biggest thing he has done this year. He just completed the waaaay world record. He scored the highest mileage for a week for the over 60.
Yes.
Because he's 60. I believe he's going 61 next year. He wants to get the overall record next year. I'm very excited about it.
He said,
I believe he can do it.
Ingolf, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Where I am, it's 11 a.m. And where you are, it's much earlier. So I really appreciate it.
Andy. I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah,
I really appreciate it. So I'm at the beginning, pretty much the beginning of my journey. I've never been coached before, and I'm just about to start working with Giovanni. So as part of that process, I was quite looking forward to learning about how that's worked out for some previous clients or some current clients. And I saw your story, so I was really keen to talk to you. But so you're currently being coached by Giovanni, and he's coached you through some pretty epic stuff. So the first thing, could you just give a quick explanation of what the record is? Because it was last month, right?
Yes, it was just over the Thanksgiving week, into the weekend, and it was kind of a decision I made at the end of October. It was not proactively organized or anything. I just came by to Giovanni and I said, hey, by the way, the season is over for me, technically speaking, but there's that cool idea I have. I'm gonna go for a world record. So, and he was pretty much rolling his eyes. He was not very happy, but he helped me and gave me a really awesome advice, and helped me also with the final training to make sure that I'm ready for the attempt, because I did it in a very specific way that probably no one else has done before or tried to do before, because I did it as a solo racer, which is okay. That is what people have done, you know. So there are two people who have done more miles than I did so far in the overall for non-drafting. But the difference for me is I did it self-supported. So I had zero support crew, nothing. So I did everything by myself.
Okay.
And that was because it was a Thanksgiving week, and I did not want to bother anyone to work with me on that. So I decided, okay, let's see what a person can do. Even the race season is over, and I'm technically already preparing with my training for the next year's season. But let's sneak that in and let's see what happens. And Giovanni gave me some really great advice based on all the training I had this year and the race season I had this year with him, you know, to see, okay, how far can I go with that? And it was an awesome result. I mean, I did 158 miles in 7 days.
1858 miles was that? Sorry. Yeah. Wow.
The funny thing, or actually it was not funny at the end. I mean, I did cut the 7-day world record attempt a little bit short. Unfortunate, after almost a little bit less than 6.5 days, I had a crash with a car. So, and I decided not to get back on the spare bike. Friends of mine told me to stay away from any bike at that time because I might have a concussion or so, you know, so, and I didn't want to risk anything. But yeah, I have to admit, I mean, it shows that with all the effort he has done so far, you know, training me, making sure, you know, that I had a proper power and endurance level to keep going. And geez, I mean, yeah, I improved the existing record in my age group for sure by almost 450 miles.
It's mad. It's absolutely mad. It's amazing. I think, were you coached before working with Giovanni, or were you coached previously by anybody else?
I had a different coach before him, and but my problem with the previous coach was that coach was a little bit too selfish, you know, so he was more focused on himself than on me. Right. And it caused some issues, especially, I mean, the issues turned out mostly last year when I did my first attempt for the race across America. And I feel that I did not fail power level wise or whatever, you know. I mean, the failure was a different reasons, you know. So it was food poisoning after 1,500 miles, and I was able to go another 640 miles after that. But I just couldn't keep the power up anymore, you know. So then I was done. I had to bail out for safety reasons. Nevertheless, did notice, I mean, the coaching before was, and that coach that I had, he let me down on the race across America. He was supposed to support me even there, you know, so he did not. And then I was thinking for a while, you know, for a few weeks, you know, what the heck do I do? And I met Giovanni already last year in the Texas Longhorn 500 race. And I liked that guy, and he was very honest and straightforward to me. So he did not hide anything. He was straightforward, telling me what I do wrong and what I should do. That's awesome. I mean, that's a good thing, you know. And I need that from a coach. I don't need a coach to be kind of just looking at themselves, you know, and looking good kind of a thing. No, a coach needs to be honest to me. If I do too much, if I do not enough, they need to be able to say, hey, Ingolf, you need to do this and that, and if you don't do that, if you don't follow that advice, you hurt yourself and you hurt your future results. And that's important to me, because otherwise, you know, I may do the wrong thing. And that's where Giovanni stepped in immediately, you know, after I started using him as a coach last year. He stepped in instantly, and he helped me actually improving my results. Plus, I have to admit, there are multiple different things, you know. So first of all, he's a great coach for coaching me on the riding stuff, you know. So, and the other cool thing is, since last year after I had the food poisoning, I switched completely my diet to a vegan diet, And Giovanni is vegan as well. Okay, so he gave me really great advice also on the food, specifically on what I should eat and should not eat, during the races or during some of the heavy training sessions. And that is very, very helpful to me. So that's a little bit more complex area than also for me, and also, and I can follow by following that advice, I can actually have way better results. And honestly, since he coaches me, I have had great results. I mean, I have to admit, I broke the record, for the 48-hour race. I broke it last year. I have improved it again this year, and we're talking about breaking it over all age groups and genders. Okay, I did break the Texas Longhorn 500 race records. For the last year, I did it for the age group 50 to 59. This year for 60 to 69. So I hold both records at the overall men's record. So I won it twice. And I won the 48-hour race twice. I won a 12-hour race, So and guess what? I did finish Race Across America. So I am a RAAM solo finisher. And that's
well done.
Amazing and awesome.
Yeah.
And then I do admit, to put the really tip on the iceberg, so really to put something on top of that, I decided, I feel a bit bored over the Thanksgiving week, so let's go for that record.
Why not?
Yes.
Why
so
not?
I put the record. So, and I have to admit that is, to me, it's amazing, and I have to be very thankful for him to actually push me into that direction, to make sure that my endurance stays very high up there, and that I also have the proper power levels improved.
Yeah, he said that it was really beneficial that you got into a level already where his strength and his endurance was so high that was a last minute decision.
Yes.
I thought maybe that was a goal, like a long-term goal that he was working with you to achieve, but it's just his season got him to a point that he was so strong that he could just do it because he had a week free. Yeah.
Yes, he told me last minute. He said, I think I can do it. I said, okay, you feel it, go for it. Just don't take too many risks. Because end of November, even if he lives in Florida, end of November is not the best time to do it.
No, he seemed quite determined.
Yeah, he's very determined. Yes,
yeah.
Really, really determined.
He had a lot of really good things to say that were encouraging for me, because I trust the process that I need to take guidance, and you know better than me. So I have to trust your process and the workouts and the volume. But from what he explained, you gave him lots of really good feedback, even on diet during the races.
I did not expect any advice on the nutrition, during the race, but he stepped in, even at the Race Across America. He stepped in with my crew chief and the crew in general, and gave them advice, and they actually told them even, hey, he needs to eat this and that, so, and make sure you feed him that besides all that fluid-based, nutrition that you feed him. He needs to have solid food, and this is the best he gets, so. And honestly, I did not expect that he would bring that up or would give that advice at that time, but he did, and
that's really useful.
And that's very, very cool, because
I think it's really useful because you could put in all of the work, months and months of work training, and then if you don't have the right fuel in the race, then it's for nothing. So that's really useful. And on his structure and completely changing his training over the winter to be more based on power than volume. So that's really exciting that he's accepted that and taken the feedback, and it's obviously doing really good things for him.
It's a process that goes on with my customers, because sometimes I have a different way of interpreting cycling and training than other coaches. So maybe at the beginning, not everybody trusts me 100%.
But I think if like for me, it was really helpful to speak to Ingolf, because I can see that if it works for him and the guidance is really detailed and helpful, then that makes it much easier for me to know that I can just trust this, and I'm going to be in a much better position next year. So far, it's been really good. I've really enjoyed the workouts. More volume than I used to do, but it's more variety and feels more stimulating.
Yeah, I really believe that endurance helps power and power helps endurance. That they're bond. So you can, especially in cycling. Cycling, anyway, it's an endurance sport, but we need also power.
Yeah.
So I really believe that we have to work both sides.
And that was my biggest concern before, that the power levels were not really up there. My endurance was okay, but the power levels were not really up there. So now I have a combination of power levels and endurance, and his training is focusing on both, you know, so, and that's very, very good to me.
I think that's probably what I'm kind of hoping for as well. I feel like I can ride all day, but my structured training on the turbo, not very good. It's really encouraging as well that you talk about following the advice, because there's really no point in having a coach if you push back and then you end up doing what you want anyway. Then you might as well not have a coach. So, but for you, it's a bit different. For me, I was at when I first received the first split, because we had the conversation, how much time do you have spare? And then I received my training through Training Peaks, and I was like, wow. For me, my previous weeks were sort of 4 or 5 hours a week. And now I'm looking at sort of 15 hours a week. And at first I was like, how am I gonna fit this in? But actually, it's just a case of reorganizing time.
You have to manage your time there. And I have to admit, I went actually the opposite way. About 40, 45 hours a week. And I'm down now to about 30 to 35 hours a week.
That's still a lot.
For me, it's I have a full-time job. We're actually pulling off on the endurance training and making sure, you know, that I really push harder, actually, even on my power level. Because I did pull on the world record. I pulled close to 1,900 miles this year. And my goal for next year is minimum 2,400 miles in 7 days. That's my personal goal. Can I do it? I have no idea.
I think as long as you don't get hit by any cars, then I think you'd be fine. I've been hit by two myself, so
no, you're right. Because if I would not have been hit by the car, I definitely would have been over 2,000 miles. I mean, no doubt. So, and that's where Giovanni's advice helps me a lot, you know. So because when you go on races like that, you need to focus on your power level that you apply there from the beginning, and you need to spread it out, okay? And because it's all about endurance at that time, okay? And I never forget, after the first probably 10, 15 miles, 2 people start passing me, and I thought, what the heck? I'm in the wrong movie here.
Keep it.
I did not try to catch them immediately. I thought, no, let them go. I will catch them later. I will increase my speed a little bit, but not too much, because I still need to make sure that I leverage that over the race, you know, also because the race is 48 hours and not just 1 or 2 hours. So, and that's pretty much, it's very helpful having someone where you remember, okay, this is the advice, follow that, you know, so be strictly on that, you know, and don't divide from that too much. You know, you want to make sure that you actually follow the advice as much as possible, because races finish in a time-based race. It finishes, you know, when the time is up, and in a distance-related race, it finishes when you cross a finish line. That's it, game over.
And also another thing about my training plans, I really believe in recovery times and recovery rides. That's so important for me. I don't think it's a good idea to push ourselves to the limit every day. It's important to give the body the time to recover and to assimilate the workouts. That's so important.
Yeah. That's one thing I noticed. A big amount of the hours is actually recovery and easier riding anyway. I started a season on Disney Plus and just I can watch a TV show for an hour and do the recovery rides. That's fine. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I watch YouTube channels. That's why I discovered your channel.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. But I was intimidated to begin with. So it's worth saying, for me, the plan is individual and probably different for everybody. But when I saw my intensity days were like a big block of endurance threshold type workouts, and then a workout afterwards, doing very high like VO2 max and things, I was a bit nervous because I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but actually got through it fine. So that was really interesting to see.
Okay, I have a bunch of workouts.
Yeah.
But the level of the workout is tailored on your FTP, on you. And it's important to give you what you need. So you're training for ultracycling. So it's very ultracycling oriented, what I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Then if I go to someone else who wants to do criteriums, so that's really different.
Yes.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. The basics are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like
Yeah.
both of cyclists have to work on power and then to work to endurance. So
Yes.
the basics are more or less the same. But I won't give to a guy who wants to do criteriums like 8 hours riding on Sundays. No, that's
No.
I can give 6.
Yeah. I think one thing that was the most useful thing actually was that around the time that we started talking, I did my FTP test and I did a really bad job of it. And I don't do those things on purpose. I don't deliberately do them bad. But if something bad happens, then on the YouTube, I still show it because I that's just how it went, and I made mistakes. But it meant that I knew what my power was last year, and I haven't done any power work since then. And then the result that came back was disappointing, but I thought, okay, it is what it is, and I have to train at that level for a little while and see how it goes. But it was very quick for you to realize that's way wrong, and to get me to the right level so that I can train effectively. And if I was on my own, my plan would have been to train at the lower level for a while, and if it's too easy, to bring it up. But then potentially I might lose a month of training straight away.
Yes. You know what? You're not an absolute beginner. With someone who's beginning now with cycling, okay, we can lose a month, like to adjust and to give him like easy workouts, just to understand, to make him comfortable with cycling. But you are already at a certain level. So as soon as I saw the video, I remember I texted you and I said, okay, no, your FTP cannot be that one. So let's try at least just be doing the old one and this new one. And then after the first workouts, you told me, I managed to do them very, not easily, but you told me, oh, it was not like this before. So many times with someone who's like you, who's already at a certain level, I prefer to give a workout that they cannot finish than a workout that is too easy. If it's too easy, okay, you did something, but not what I want. If it's too hard, you work out that day at your limit. Okay, we can adjust it, but you didn't lose a day because you were pushing yourself at your limit. For me, that's very important. The day you have to push at your limit or maybe above your limit, you have to be ready and push and give it all.
Yes.
The day you have to recover, okay, take it easy. Take it easiest possible.
Yes. I've enjoyed I've enjoyed that. Yeah.
That's also the beauty about the beauty of cycling, like to just go for an easy roll and enjoy the landscape, enjoying a good coffee with a friend, just
being on your bike.
Yes, the sound of the nature.
Yeah, I think that was just a couple of things that I noticed really quickly. First of all, obviously training at the right level and making sure that I'm progressing, because I would have lost time and just through not knowing what I was doing very, very well. And second, enjoying the intervals again. That was really fun, because I used to find when I first started, I'd do hard intervals and then afterwards you'd have endorphins and feel really good. I haven't had that for a really long time, but I thought I just go through and do the same workouts, sort of sweet spot, similar workouts every time. And I think maybe because I'm actually pushing myself harder and doing a bit longer, it's been fun actually. So
yeah, that's very important. Having fun for me is always the first thing, even when we're racing. Yeah, I go for an event, I go for a race to have fun.
Yes. Maybe type 2 fun, as in, type 2 fun, like it really hurts, but it's still fun.
Yes, of course. I told you, I really believe that it's fun to overcome ourselves. This time I went 1 mile farther. That's very fun for me.
I don't think I want to kind of give away all of your secrets and give people to. I mean, the point is that the plan I'm going to be following is very specific to me, but I just wanted to. It's a good thing for me to talk about the channel. When I've always had the same intro that I talk about training, kit, and adventures. So now I just have more interesting things to talk about on the training front. So for the benefit of viewers, Giovanni is going to be back on from time to time for sure. But this is just a good opportunity to introduce you and what my plans are going to be now. For next year, we have some goals set, like an Everesting, have my 24-hour time trial, several goals that we set out quite quickly. So yeah, welcome aboard. But if people want to contact you and they want to discuss coaching, then what is the best way to contact you, Giovanni?
Okay, I have a website, or they can write an email to me. So even Strava, it's easy to find me, Giovanni Prosperi.
So we'll put all of the links into the description below.
Thanks so much,
and thank you for. You can get back to trade. You must have about 4 or 5 workouts today, knowing you.
Today is my endurance day. Yes, yeah. I woke up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm already 2 hours working out. I hope you're gonna have fun tomorrow.
I think so.
Because we increased a little bit the level, the wattage.
Yeah. I should.
So it's a little bit more challenging.
I'll get through it. Well, we'll see. Either that, or I might text you crying emojis.
That would be fun for me.
For the purpose of this video, I really appreciate your time and talking about the coaching. But like I say, I will message you and try to find a time for about an hour or so, and we can talk a bit more about the actual races. A bit about the coaching probably too, but more about what you've been up to, because it sounds like people that listen to the podcast will be really interested to hear more about the races too. So
outstanding, very good, Andy. You have a good one. Enjoy.
You too. Have a good one. Appreciate it.
Good week. Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Oh, all right. I'll let you get back to your day. But I really appreciate you coming on and for helping with my goals as well. So
I appreciate it. Thanks so much again. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, Giovanni.
Thank you. Bye.
If you watched until now, then I hope this gives you a good insight into the process I went through to make sure I'm being coached by the right person, but also gives you a bit of an insight into Giovanni and his approach to coaching, the kind of guy he is. And for me, I'm really confident I'm with the right person. If you're interested in coaching across the board, I'd encourage you to do the same level of work. Just ask, and I'm sure people will give you some background information on the types of things they've managed to produce. And if you have goals of your own for 2025, then all the details will be below for Giovanni, his email address, web address, all the contact information. Drop him a line, have a conversation just like I did, and see if it's the right thing for you. As always, thank you for watching, if you watched all the way through. So at the moment, a lot of the videos are around prep for 2025. It's that time of year, but I do have some long rides planned this weekend, so we'll get some actual cycling content out. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you next Thursday.